Ooh, good morning. This is real good. I'm feeling kind of a sickness, like social hangover from so much socializing and fun the last few days. So I'm really looking forward to bringing it back here to the self. Yeah, I'm gonna invite you to do the same. Let's do our usual drill. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose. Go ahead and pause this video and meditate, even if it's just for 30 seconds. It's a good habit to build. When I say meditate, go ahead and close your eyes in some seated position that's comfortable for you. And bring your awareness to yourself. You can bring it first to your body. And notice your feelings and emotion. You can call this a somatic meditation. As the mind comes up and brings stories, it's fine, don't fight it. We're just not interested. Keep coming back to the bodily sensations and notice what we're actually feeling here in the present moment, reality. All right, go ahead and pause that video. Regrounding after the prolonged stress of chaos, regardless of whether or not it was positive or negative, constructive or destructive, joyful or difficult. Can sometimes be uncomfortable, a bit of work to reground, to choose ourselves again, to re-embrace ourselves, to sit still again, to find our center. I find this to be important work. It's the place from which I feel we can make best choice when we're in relation to ourselves and recognizing our own real experience, not lost in our mind or imagination of others. When we're feeling ourselves, feeling how we're feeling. Bringing the mind with a gentle curiosity, just to noticing, an open curiosity, kind of that of a compassionate, patient character. Not running from the discomfort, recognizing that we're safe and a desire to flee from discomfort may not be serving us in this practice. I'm feeling a lot in my chest now, and just as I've begun to speak to you, I feel an expanding space down through my sternum into my guts that feels kind of like it's open, like glowing reddish yellow. It feels good, it feels warm, it feels solid and secure. It feels like it's allowing the rest of my body to be at ease, as though this is really what I'm standing on. This lower heart space. It feels open, but also unneedy, not clingy, not desperate, secure with where I am. In a moment, I'll invite you to pause the video again and go ahead and attempt to verbalize the feelings that you're having, even if you feel a bit silly about it. Maybe if you're not feeling comfortable with that, or you're in class watching this video or something, feel free to write it down. Go ahead and take 30 seconds or a couple minutes and take your time and just begin to connect more of yourself with your present somatic experience. So go ahead and pause the video now. I'll do that too, and I'll check back in with you. I'll share a little more from the feeling side. It's now coming in a little bit of sadness. Feelings of loss, a little bit of nostalgia, desire. A little bit of pause and slowness with that sadness. A little bit of desire to reach out. A little bit anxious, kind of clingy energy, graspy. A little bit of shame and embarrassment around missing certain people in my past. I feel my body flush, a sort of wave of heat, sweat-like energy around the shame. I feel warm and kind of anxious, like I want to get up and move around. I don't want to be sitting meditating anymore. I'm hearing the birds, and I noticed the story that it was a distraction, and then remembering that's actually what's present and what's going on. And that brought me frustration. I hear the horse off in the distance and a dog. Birds and creaky trees. Notice a smile on my face. Notice some stretch and pressure in my body from the position I'm sitting in. Noticing this part coming up from my guts and out through my mind and imagination into that shape of sadness and missing. Also a sense of feeling kind of unmet, unsatisfied. It kind of feels like spreading myself too thin socially. There's some worry and shame in that. A little desire to run from everything and move back to the East Coast. I stick on that and find both some ease, but also some sort of almost laughter, like that's a joke. That's a strategy to try helping me not feel. I mean, it's a physically viable strategy, but the strategy doesn't feel like it's actually something I'm going to do. The idea, the reactionary idea itself feels like a strategy to avoid my feeling, uncomfortable feeling. I notice my mind grasping at the individuals that I've spent time with over the last several days, trying to anchor and find some sense of security or validation from outside. Notice my value framework, attempting to reel it in and bring it back into myself, and feeling the shape of it sort of funnel down back into my chest and guts. Wanting to feel okay and fine and totally good right now. Another sort of laugh at how right now does feel fine, but I'm absent from myself in a little way. In the ways that my imagination is out, that I'm clinging to things non-present, feels laughably not real, and yet still real enough to be related to these feelings, perhaps resulting from the feelings, perhaps contributing to the feelings, perhaps in a cyclic relationship with the feelings, perhaps part of a process that's churning and shifting through, and we're just noticing as we check in processes like grieving processes. It's probably the most familiar one. At any time, if anything else is coming up for you, go ahead and pause the video. Just drop in and feel what you're feeling. Feel free to verbalize out loud. Also, when you're done, feel free to share in the comments your experience, what's alive for you, what you're feeling. If you're getting value out of this video, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. Feeling some anxiety, some draw to sit still with you as I found some ease, and noticing the compulsion to continue speaking instead of leaving silent space here in the video. I'm going to put some silent space here in the video, but I'm actually going to go ahead and pause and be with myself for a while. I encourage you to go ahead and relax however you like. I'll be back. Just starting to cook breakfast. It's pretty late in the day. Going through messages from people that often get missed throughout the busy weekend, when I actually get to be mostly present in all the social things that go on. I actually noticed that there are ways that I feel more met and connected to certain people, even if it is just in message. I do appreciate voice messages, and I encourage you to try those if you haven't already. Regular messengers and Facebook messengers all let you send voice back and forth, and it feels a bit richer. Allows for pause and inflection of voice and laughter. Yeah, I miss some good friends. I wish they were closer. It's another part of privilege. People move around. We live in a world where moving around is possible, if not easy and cheap and safe. You can just go into other states, cities, kingdoms, and pay rent in the same currency, or easily translate it. I mean, we're all quite privileged, and it comes with upsides and downsides. It's nice to be able to have freedom, to have agency, to be able to choose. Safety is huge. Safety's been a big theme for me, especially throughout social organizing things. Psychological safety, emotional safety, physical safety. Yeah, I miss people. I miss some people. I really like closeness. Sometimes it comes through voice and ideas, sometimes through sharing of feelings, sometimes seeing someone's face that's familiar, sometimes hearing a familiar voice, sometimes a familiar embrace, familiar feeling, familiar place, familiar food, a familiar movie or TV show or video game, or even just the name. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit nostalgic today. Yeah. And noticing how that has me sort of out and away from myself. So I'm gonna sit down and meditate again, maybe a couple times today, to really keep coming back to myself and reground. I think Monday seems to be a strong regrounding day for me, especially since I'm not having to go into the office at the moment. It's really important to return to the self, as you know. Got some really sweet messages. Replied. I think I got through all my messages, not all my emails though. And that's fine. I'm feeling like I've been spending too much time socializing. I'm finding it difficult to get fully back to myself. I feel like I neglected and never really resolved the concern about feeling unable to get back to work. We know that I won't have to get back to full-time work anytime soon, but I still want to cultivate in myself a habit of productivity and figure out where that fits in my life. I feel like whatever productivity I've been in has been very flow state. It's been very self-embraced. So in a way, I've swung the pendulum away from sort of dictatorial telling myself what I should do and exhausting myself, all the way into very flow state productivity and a lot of doing what I like and doing what I feel called to do, which is wonderful. But there are things on my to-do list, which is growing, that will not get done simply by being in flow state all the time. So, reality, goodness, and work. Here's another kind of work. Usually when I'm saying work, I'm talking about self-work, but it's all the work that it takes to maintain all of the self, whether that's the body, the mind, whether it's an income to pay for a place to sleep and food to eat, or if it's extensions of the body, like the place you stay to sleep, your vehicle, which is an example of something on my to-do list with growing items. So I'll tell you what, I am going to go do that work. I'm going to go crush my to-do list right now. I'm going to exercise willpower, which is something I've been able to not do much of for quite some time. The willpower has been very targeted, mostly leaning into getting in touch with myself, doing the somatic and interpersonal work. But a lot of this also feels like free energy because I'm so excited and jazzed and motivated about it. I want to take and share a metaphor. At the pool party yesterday, someone was attempting to swim underwater back and forth as many times as they could. And I was out on the side of the pool feeling wonderful, surrounded by friends not wanting to move. And I thought, hey, I could be pretty good at that. And they're like, oh, get in and try. And I noticed how fragile I feel, like I'm not allowed to push myself. And I very gently got up and moved into the pool and started to push back on that edge. Made sure I did a few pool laps and put a high score on the board so that the community could play with that and attempt to beat it. But I could have gone much further if I'd pushed myself much harder. And so I noticed that I'm very gentle with myself in a lot of ways. I want to keep playing with that balance. I like that I've managed to be gentle with my physical body, for example. I've acquired, increasing amounts of injuries through years of playing sports and going hard at different times. And it's good for me to be gentle, but not totally gentle. One of the mistakes I see is when they say, stay off that injury, when doctors in Western medicine says, completely stay off it. Often I find a little bit of very delicate micro movement heals things much more quickly. A little bit of blood flow and care and attention. And so I've moved into that space of sort of gentle flow at all times, feeling out what's going on, leaning into where I feel like being productive, creating the habits and growing in that way. But sometimes I might just need to muscle up. So I'm going to go lean into that. I'm going to welcome you to do that as well. Go get your to-do list or if you don't write it down, what's something that you've been avoiding doing? You've probably already thought of it, and you've probably already started rationalizing about why you don't have to do it. Let's go do that right now. Right now. Pause the video. Right now. Go do that thing and don't come back until you're done. I'm going to do the same thing. Pause this video and go do one of the things you've been avoiding on your to-do list. I'll see you again in a minute or an hour, however long it takes you. Pause this video. See you soon. So, I tried to call to get my car fixed and the phone didn't work, so I thought, let's go bigger. Let's do our taxes. And I have spent a couple hours fighting with technology. I'm still not surprised why I dislike being a software engineer. It's miserable. Out here in the real world with boring rocks, they're rocks. They're always rocks. You touch it, it's a rock. It feels like a rock. You want to pick it up, you can pick it up. When you lift it, it lifts with you. If you drop it, it falls every time. You don't let go and then suddenly glitch and wait for the thing to happen, or it becomes something else or disappears. It just works. Turbotax is not just working at all. It's stuck in some sort of free mode or something. Anyways. Also, got to have a super rich conversation with a buddy, long time friend who lives out in the Rocky Mountains. And he's actually gone through a similar path of self-taught software. He burnt out, moved home for a bit, and now he's moved back out and he works at a nice grocery store that he actually really is enjoys physical movement and interacting with human beings. I admire his courage and see how I still feel my ego a little bit too stuck and clinging to things like status and income and whatever I think that will get me. But that's not what we talked about. We talked about relationships and did Hangover, actually. We did some somatic work and then some sort of leading question type of stuff, some inquiry kind of work. Really nice to speak with him. So I've got about an hour here before another friend shows up. See if we can get these taxes done. What did you get done? Let me know in the comments. If you're getting value out of this, hit that like button. If you got something done that you wouldn't have done otherwise, you definitely got value out of this. So hit that like button and the subscribe button while you're at it. I am going to keep going and trying to get these taxes done. Woohoo, and I'll be back. Yeah, it's just a terribly unfortunate experience. Absolute miserable experience of Turbotax. I cannot recommend them at all this year. They've been good, but I'm just trapped in the free version. It won't let me upgrade. Miserable. Anyways, it's not really what I want to talk about here, but may as well do some somatic uncovery while we're at it, yeah? I feel sweaty. I feel embarrassed and scared to admit to y'all that I'm angry and frustrated right now. I'm afraid that it's going to turn you off and make you want to stop watching the channel. Feeling sweaty in my forehead, frustrated. I can relate to that classic stereotype of wanting to throw the computer or something a little bit. It's really just like, I want to clear my desk of all this technological garbage, expensive technological garbage. I'm using this violent, judgmental terms like garbage. I'm feeling really frustrated. I feel like my expectation was let down. I expected to be able to get through this within 30 minutes or an hour. I expect that when I'm led down a funnel, that it's not going to be a dead end. That I'm going to click on something and have a user experience that allows me to continue completing the task that I'm trying to accomplish. And I expect that to happen in a way that's not only obvious, simple, easy, obvious. Walk us through it. The fact that I'm Googling and trying all sorts of different things, and I'm a software engineer and can't get this done, means the UX is terribly broken. I notice myself in this judgmental language, analyzing. I feel angry. I want my time back. I want to spend my time in here, present. It's so funny to get to a point in my life where, only half jokingly, I can say, I love rocks, dirt, trees. If I lean up against a tree, it's not gonna disappear sometimes. If I drop a rock, it's gonna drop. Real life works. And it feels. It doesn't feel like this. Technology? Gosh. I guess I'm starting to become somewhat anti-tech. I still buy into the dream. The story is great, that it's powerful and efficient. It's going to help us do things, maybe even be safer, have more comfort and ease, and information technology. It's a world of knowledge. That was the promise. That was what was sold to us. That was the story that was sold to us. That's the story that I feel was sold to me, that I bought into. I thought, cool, faster, readily available information, more efficiency, cool. My experience with technology over the past 2 decades has honestly been disappointing. It's been fun and exciting, and it's paid me well. I can't really recommend it. I don't recommend a world full of this kind of stuff. Social media, people sitting on screens all the time, picking up addictions to video games, social media, internet porn. Yeah. The goodness is right here. It's right here. Yeah, I'm worried about the game that the world is playing. Seems to be bought into. But I still feel myself pulled into, through insecurities about money, status, and keeping up with the Joneses, making a good income, wanting to be a desirable partner for family, or wanting to make lots of money to build a community. Really what matters to me increasingly so is reality, the present moment, somatic experience, relating with others, really trying to contribute to building community with healthy intimacy, healthy relationship dynamics through practices like authentic relating, uncovery, which is basically a somatic, authentic relating of sorts. All the practices of interpersonal work. Oh gosh, it feels so good out here. What an interesting world. Life is such a trip. Alright, let me see what I can wrap up here. I'll be back. Alright, we put the machines away. Friend's showing up soon. I want to go for a walk, jump in the river, and chill out. Yeah. Hi. It was nice spending time with a friend. I'm tired though. I'm socially tired. I feel far from myself. I noticed the most affecting thing of the day was my frustration with Turbotax. Not only did it make me frustrated, but then even when I was hanging out with a friend, I noticed I was way more cerebral, way more in my head, fast talking. Yeah. Really interesting experience when I look at that. My frustration led to headiness or being on the computer, technology, something I did not like. I definitely didn't like feeling angry, didn't like the attitude. But I also didn't like being super heady. Wasn't the way I wanted to connect to myself or to my company. Oh, yeah, I'm really feeling like withdrawing. Try not to get overexcited about that idea and think that I need to withdraw in a big way, but I definitely feel the need to reduce the amount of effort I'm putting into social things, and rebalance, reprioritize. In that spirit, if you're getting value out of this, you know the drill. Like this video. And if you want more of these, hit that subscribe button. Let me know if this matters to you. Hit up that comment section. Let's keep taking this journey together. See y'all soon. It's been real good.